Hello and welcome to my video discussion presentation for Intercultural Communication Assessment 1 People in the Hood. I would like to begin my video presentation with an acknowledgement to country. Jingela, Nyai Gala Ryan Wood, Bundjalung Begal. Hello, I am Ryan Wood, a Bundjalung Aboriginal man. I would like to begin my presentation by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather and learn, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. They are the land's first teachers, educators, as cultural knowledge has been passed down through the generations by our elders. Additionally, I would like to further this acknowledgement by acknowledging the forefathers of the land I live on, the Pambalong people of the Wabakal Nation, as the first and rightful custodians on the land on which I visit. My chosen suburb that I will be taking focus on is Newcastle, which is where I have lived for the past 9 years. I moved up here in 2015 just to be closer to family. My chosen locations throughout the Newcastle area are the Butterfly Caves, which is the outlier location here, over near Westfall's End, and I'll explain in further detail why that is and where that's located and such. King Edward Park, the Newcastle Exhibition and Convention Centre, the Christchurch Cathedral, and Fort Scratchley. Butterfly Caves in Westfall's End hold a significant cultural connection to the local area in which I live. It represents the sustained connection between the land and Indigenous women of the area, as it continues to be used as a meeting and ceremonial aggregational point. The history of the Butterfly Caves is one that is rich. It has been utilized by the Awabakal peoples for centuries. However, with the arrival of settlers, the caves had garnered some attention for its peculiar geological formation and were explored by early naturalists and scientists intrigued by the region's natural riches. Later, in the 19th and 20th centuries, the Butterfly Caves were used by non-Indigenous inhabitants of the local area for coal mining, which had begun to boom in the greater Newcastle and Hunter regions. The caves were heavily impacted and damaged by the commencement of these trades. The sustained damage to both the land and sacrality of the site had led to an uproar by many Indigenous and non-Indigenous locals in the early 2000s to protect and conserve these hallowed grounds, and made an effort to get the grounds recognized as a heritage site to protect and preserve its use for traditional purposes for future generations. There has been significant amounts of transculturation across these sites through its traditional use to the settlement and utilization of the site by non-Indigenous cultures and the combined efforts of many people and cultures to protect this site. The next location I'll be analyzing is King Edward Park. King Edward Park stands as a centerpiece of interculturality in the Newcastle area. The park's history dates back to the 1800s, when it was established on the lands of the Wabakal and Worimi peoples. Over time, it has become a site of recreational and cultural activities. It was named after King Edward VII of the United Kingdom, showcasing the ties between Australia and the British monarchy during this time period. The park was dedicated as a recreation reserve in 1863. It serves as a space for individuals from an array of cultural backgrounds to come together, interact, and learn from one another. This is carried out through the utilization of the space for activities such as picnics, music, festivals, local markets, or a meeting point for varying sporting groups, as it plays host to a number of diverse community events, such as Nyama and Walkamal Kuri Star, markets and festivals. There are many visitors from diverse cultural backgrounds that bring their customs, traditions, and practices, leading to an exchange of cultural elements alongside with interactions. Among people speaking different languages, leading to linguistic influences, various art forms, music, and performance from different cultures may intertwine here in King Edward Park. I myself have experienced and observed these interactions through my time spent here at the park, playing sports such as soccer with an array of many different people. My next zone of analysis is the Newcastle Exhibition and Convention Centre. The Newcastle Exhibition and Convention Centre, also known as the Newcastle Entertainment Centre or the NEX, is a multi-purpose venue located in the heart of Newcastle CBD. Its primary purpose is to host large-scale events such as conferences, trade shows, exhibitions, concerts, weddings, seminars, and banquets. Opened in 1992, the centre was designed to serve as a hub for diverse events contributing significantly to cultural, entertainment, and business activities in Newcastle and the wider region. One of the centre's notable aspects is its acknowledgement, respect for the traditional custodians of the land, the indigenous peoples of the Newcastle and Hunter regions, the Worimi peoples and the Awabakal peoples. This respect is evident through multiple signage and plaques throughout the venue. Additionally, the centre actively engages in cultural awareness and education seminars, programs, initiatives, and partnerships with Indigenous organisations and elders. These efforts aim to promote understanding, appreciation, and respect for Indigenous culture among staff, visitors, and event organisers. Furthermore, the centre hosts multicultural events, festivals, and celebrations that bring together people from different cultural backgrounds to share their traditions, music, dance, and cuisines. These events serve as platforms for intercultural exchange and appreciation among attendees. Notable events include the White Ribbon Breakfast against domestic violence, performances by traditional locals and elders, and multicultural exchanges that foster dialogue and understanding among participants and audience alike. My next point of analysis is of the Christchurch Cathedral. The Christchurch Cathedral in Newcastle holds its cultural significance in several ways, such as historical and architectural heritage, spiritual and religious diversity, community gathering, tourism, cultural exchange, and reconciliation. Since being built in 1902, cultural encounters at Christchurch Cathedral encompasses an array of interactions and activities that provoke dialogue, understanding, and appreciation of cultural diversity. Some of these intercultural encounters that may occur at the cathedral include cross-culturation of different faiths, gatherings, services, sermons, and discussions that bring together people from different religious backgrounds. These gatherings promote dialogue exchanges and mutual respect and understanding among religious communities. Transculturation at Christchurch Cathedral and involves various forms of cultural blending, exchange, and interaction that contribute to the richness of cultural diversity within the cathedral's contexts. Some forms of this transculturation that occur at the cathedral include religious synchronism, cultural performances, interfaith, dialogue, community engagement, historical and cultural education. Overall, Christchurch Cathedral serves as a dynamic space for transculturation. Cultural boundaries across perspectives are embraced, and cultural expressions emerge through intercultural interactions and exchanges. My final point of analysis is of Fort Scratchley. Fort Scratchley is located on the shores of the outskirts of the Newcastle area. It holds its significance of interculturality for several reasons, such as being a historical and cultural heritage site, educational and interpretive programs, cultural exchange, community engagement, artistic and cultural programming, and as a symbol of unity. Fort Scratchley was initially established in the late 19th century, following concerns about the defense of Newcastle's strategic harbour against potential naval threats from opposing nations. Scratchley gained its historical significance during World War II, when it played a crucial role in defending Newcastle against Japanese submarine attacks in 1942. After the war, the fort's military role was diminished and eventually it became a museum and heritage site, showcasing Newcastle's maritime defense history. It is now a popular tourist attraction and cultural landmark, offering guided tours, educational programs, and exhibitions that highlight its history, architecture, and military artifacts. Within Fort Scratchley, intercultural encounters occur with its focus on tourism and visitation engagement, as well as historical and cultural interpretation, community events, artistic and cultural programming. Through this, individuals have the opportunity to learn about the fort's history, military heritage, and significance through these guided tours and exhibitions. This engagement fosters cultural exchange and dialogue between visitors and staff. Fort Scratchley hosts many community and events, festivals, and cultural activities that bring together people from different backgrounds. These events provide opportunities for social interaction and connection among attendees, fostering a sense of unity and inclusivity within the community. Overall, Fort Scratchley serves as a dynamic space for transculturation in intercultural communication and encounters where cultural boundaries are crossed, diverse perspectives are embraced, and new cultural expressions emerge through cultural interactions, learning, and engagement.